creativity, innovation, entrepreneurship.
Can this sort of thing be taught?
Can you teach sports? Can you teach music? Can you teach math? Can you teach history? Yes, of course there are some people who are natural-born musicians, and they're natural athletes, but everybody can improve, and everyone can benefit by knowing more about it.
I don't know if you could teach it, but you have to be exposed to it. You have to feel what it's like, so that later on you'll be able to say, I know what's going on here, I recognize this.
One of our ideas that we're looking at, for instance, is going in and reaching out to some elementary school kids. And I think we might be surprised by the kind of ideas they might come up with.
What we decided to do was to move outside of our own realm of entrepreneurship and kind of pass on the message of the Spirit of the Week to a group of elementary schoolers.
How many people know what entrepreneurship is? Have you ever heard that word? This was like a really empowering exercise for them. And I don't think I actually understood the potential of it till I got there. Who wants to share an idea that they wrote down? Do you want to share an idea?
A bracelet that can beep on a remote to tell your parent.
What's your idea? Something that stops fights and wars.
Can you tell me a little bit about the dog taker? It feeds your dog, it pets your dog, and it cleans the poop off for your dog. If you make a machine that does all your chores.
You ask these kids if they have an idea for an invention, and there's no hesitation.
And they're like, oh, yes. Well, I made a force field generator. It should be small, like maybe the size of the regular backpack.
Oh. I thought it was exciting how much energy they brought to it. And they're like, are you guys gonna come back and do this some more?
There was this one kid, Skylar, who was outside, and we were trying to desperately to recruit these kids, and we were worried that we weren't getting enough. Eventually we got a bunch of kids, but he was just kind of standing there hugging a pole, and I'm like, well, why don't you come in? We'll do some stuff. You can make an invention. He's like, oh, I don't want to. I was like, well, come on, there's candy. And he's like, okay, but I only want to watch. And then he starts, we start walking over, and he starts talking to me, and he's like, I'm a real detective. And I'm like, oh yeah, well, maybe you can invent something that you can use as a detective. And then in the end, he came up with night vision goggles. And it was just such a pleasure to see him be so proud of that.
The best thing you can do for a very young child is to stimulate their imagination. I don't think it's a coincidence that most of the smart people that I knew grew up reading science fiction novels and really exercising their imagination. So if you can create activities for students where they're asked to really either collectively or individually start posting their ideas and sharing their ideas, that's the best way to learn about what it's like, to create an idea that can potentially become a company and become a growing enterprise.
Elementary entrepreneur back to the basics.
That's so good.
So cute.